I didn't hear Otis Redding's version of Respect until I started preparing for this thing. I'm just like, I want to see what songs he wrote.
The pen.
Yeah.
And the original hit record, because I really want to do it because she heard his and was
That's right.
Well, this is good. Let me see what I can do.
Yeah.
It was
My
already a
mom-
smash. Don't sleep.
Mama often say, you know, God bless Aretha, but I hope people know she didn't write that song. She never tells people she didn't write it.
We sound crazy.
I invented sweat. Popping bottles, putting supermodels in the cab.
Welcome to another episode of We Sound Crazy, your official backstage pass for all things music and culture. I am Bacon for Macon, in the building in Macon.
Finally.
Billionaire is actually in Macon, Georgia. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me, Timon. I appreciate it.
Claude Kelly is 100% in the building and happy to be here.
Life is good. I'm in Macon, Georgia. I'm Chuck Harmony, and I'm here.
Man, it is such an honor to be back home. We are in the beautiful Otis Redding Center for the Arts, and we're celebrating an iconic figure that I grew up learning about, that I grew up listening to almost every day. We're talking about a man who has achieved 5 top 5 albums and 17 top 20 singles on the R&B charts. Wow. He's an inductee into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's in the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and he recently got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And we're sitting here with his legacy. I'm talking about none other than Karla Redding Andrews, who's vice president and executive director of this amazing facility, and his grandson, Justin Andrews, director of special projects. Welcome to We Sound Crazy.
Oh, wow. We're delighted to be here. And so glad to welcome you guys into our new space.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
I mean, when we walked in, we were like, oh, this is that new. This is that fancy schmancy.
Yeah. Chuck playing on the piano over there. Hope we don't get in trouble.
It really, I mean, we're talking in hopes that people will get excited as well and come see this, but it is really, really, really a beautiful building.
It's a dream we had for over 20 years. We've been planning this. And finally, we're here. Finally.
I mean, we want to hear, there's so much to find out, but just about this building itself, let's just talk about that journey.
Yeah,
of how this came about, who's behind it, who's running it, who's calling the shots, because this is special.
Well, you know, the journey started back with my dad. I mean, my dad was always being very philanthropic and very adamant about the importance of education paired with music and the arts. And he was even hosting, he and my mom, the amazing queen, Zelma Redding, were hosting young people at our camp, at our ranch in Round Oak, Georgia, would bring kids out, meet personalities, radio personalities, celebrities, and encourage them to stay in school. And you know, once I got older and my brothers, and we were like, you know, we just need to pick up on Dad's legacy. We need to really continue what he tried to do in his community, really to make an impact and make a difference on kids' lives. So, you know, the journey started back in 2007 when we officially formed the Otis Redding Foundation, working with then the team of Michael Malden, who was working with us. I have to give a shout out to Michael Malden because he pushed us to get to this point. And then we just kept going ever since. We did different programs. The Otis Music Camp was the first program. Then we kept adding programs and adding team members, and Justin joined. And it's just amazing that we've come now full circle to get to a 15,000 square feet facility. Inviting kids in every single day except Sunday. We do need one day. But inviting kids every single day to come in and be creative and self-expressive. And that's what we want to do.
What do you hope that this facility will bring to the community just over time?
Unity, really, and to teach kids that you can be and do anything you set your mind to do. Whether you want to be in the music business or whether you want to do graphic design or whether you want to do entertainment law, This facility teaches all of that. Most importantly, just to know that you are special and don't ever let anyone tell you no. Because that's the thing that we all came up under. That's what my husband and I teach our boys. That's what we were raised with my mom. We never let them tell you no. You can do anything you want to do. Because if you had told me 15 years ago that this would be ours, I would have said, there's no way we can do this. And it's done. It's done.
I would love to know from Justin, as the grandson of Otis Redding and you working with your mom on the many projects, because you're well accomplished in your own right. At what point in your journey did you feel compelled to continue to carry that torch and carry on that legacy?
You know, it's funny when she said, when my mom said, she's like, you know, I joined the team like I had a choice, number one. You know, but I look at it as, you know, as also being taught and how we were brought up as number one is family. This is a legacy that we get to continue. And how great is it that we have a legacy that we control from top to bottom, you know? So if my grandmother and my mom and my uncles are doing all this and keeping this legacy alive and keeping this legacy going, it only makes sense for it to trickle down. Why would we put this in the hands of anyone else when there are me and my younger brother that are here that can continue this legacy for years and years to come? So, you know, it was kind of instilled, you know, since birth. I feel like my mom, I never thought, you know, sitting in this space that we would be here 15, 20 years later. You know, but I mean, we have been humping for the past 15, 20 years. And I mean, it is amazing to see where we have come over these past years and what we're going to continue to do. I mean, with Otis Redding, the estate, the foundation, the center, I mean, the sky's the limit for us. So we're excited to get started.
The amount of talent that will come out of this is because finding the arts in any community at this point, especially in our schools, is so hard to find, that this is going to be the place that kids come to find themselves, to discover talents, to hone, to sharpen skills. And that this is the kind of stuff that builds communities, but also builds the future generation of artists, leaders, stars.
Right. Well, you know, what happens is music and the arts balances the brain. So, you know, even as our campers come in, we have some that don't want to be in the music business, but they're going on to be doctors and, you know, really be attorneys and really make a difference in the corporate work. But music is the key.
It's still the key.
To everything.
Yes.
To everything.
In just driving up here and seeing the building not too far from where your dad and your granddad grew up in Tyndall Heights, why was it important to have it in this part of town near where he grew up? Because I mean, I went to places like Booker T. Washington Community Center, learning about Otis Redding and listening to his music and singing his songs and going to the Douglas. Why was it important to put it in this sector of Macon?
Well, you know, Dad's original office is probably 1,000 feet from here. And he, if my dad were alive today, first of all, we'd have satellite Otis Redding Center for the Arts all over the world. And most of downtown would be something that he would have his hand in because he loved the downtown community. My mom and I had a shoe store for over 20 years. My mom has had a number of businesses downtown, and we just feel like this is home for us. And it's a central location, accessible to the interstate, accessible to all parts of town via the transit system, however you need to get here. We wanted to be right in the heart so people will come easily. And we felt that this was the best location. It was a historic location, being that the museum is 500 feet down the street. And then, you know, the Macon City Auditorium, we've got so many historic buildings in downtown, and we're proud to be a part of that now.
And even with that, you know, there are even kids that come to our program now that don't step foot downtown. You know, when when it's a kind of a hood mindset, underprivileged mindset, you know, you don't get that exposure. So, you know, we had tons of opportunities to go to different places. But back to my grandmother again, one of her favorite quotes were, "Why would you keep kids in the hood?" Why would you not bring them out of that to show them that there's more out here besides what they grow up around every day? And that's, to me, you know, another reason why we are smack dab in the middle of downtown Macon, to be able to bring kids out of their communities and show them something different and show them that there are multiple ways out. And this is possibly one of them.
And, you know, I just want to add to that, you know, this facility is the most highest technology that you can imagine. It is the finest building that you've seen. And we could have made it a typical box. No, kids need to know this is yours. This is all created. All of this fabulousness is for you. And enjoy it.
And it feels creative. It makes you want to do creative things.
Yes.
That's smart.
So tell me about the team that helped bring this facility to reality. I want to hear more about, just because it's been a almost 20-year journey for us to be here. So tell us more about the team.
Absolutely. So, you know, we had been looking for locations, and I got to share this important part as we go to our journey. And we had been looking at scouting for property, go here, go there. And one day, my mom, who we call her the Queen, everybody calls her the Queen. Justin calls her Dr. Ruth.
Y'all remember Dr. Ruth, the lady that knew everything?
She knows everything.
She knows everything.
And she walked out of our museum office at 339 Cotton Avenue, and she looked up the street and she said, "You do know that's our new location?" And I said, "Mom, what are you talking about?" She said, that's our new center. That property right there, that's where we need to be. And I said, "How are we going to do that? That property is $1 million. It's a hole in the ground. How are we going to get there?" And so she said to me, "I'm going to give you the first $1 million. I'm going to pay for the dirt, and the rest is up to you."
Wow.
And we did it.
Yep.
So we had already had an amazing team. Our center director, Kimberly Kelsey Epps, who was on American Idol at one point, Reese Kitchens, who's our chief audiovisual engineer, Vincent Alaz Muhammad, Justin, of course, my brother, and my brother Otis Redding III, who passed, but he was involved in this project as well. We are all just like-minded individuals who work toward this one common goal to create this amazing space. So, you know, we've got a great part-time team of coaches and individuals who come in and do private lessons when we need that.
Orchestrators.
Orchestrators. That's what we call them for Otis Redding Center for the Arts. They're orchestrators. And they come in and do lessons. So we've got a team of about 15 to 20 people who are in this space with kids every day.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Let's talk about the music for a second.
Yes.
Because the music is where it all begins.
Yeah.
And what I love about getting able to sit and talk with you and for people to see this is to see in the flesh legacy, right? You have one of America's most revered artists of all time in Otis Redding, right? And you're getting able to see the generations of his family that are still caring for the legacy, caring for the music, finding new ways to reintroduce it to the world. How much of the music do you guys deal with, of his music are you dealing with every day? Are you getting calls nonstop? Is it?
Oh my goodness. So,
because I mean, it's just,
outside of trying to construct a 15,000 square foot building, my mom and I, along with Justin, manage Dad's name, image licensing, as well as his vast catalog of music.
Yeah.
So every day it's a call. Every day it's an email.
Every single day?
Every day.
Every day. Yesterday I was just on a call about a documentary. Tomorrow I have another meeting about a documentary.
Yeah.
It's nonstop all the time. And I'm grateful for that. Because I think all the time, here we are 50 years later, that people are still wanting to use that legendary music. And it's not always the top ones like Dock of the Bay or Respect, but they dig deep into the catalog and look for those hidden gems, like,
Yeah.
And my mom and I manage that. I mean, my mom's been doing that for years. We're only here
because of her.
Because of her.
It's the only
because
reason
of
we're
her
here.
smartness and her tenacity to never give up, never let people take anything from her. And most importantly, in her words, we don't prostitute the legacy of Otis Redding.
We do not.
We do not prostitute
Not
the
everything is
legacy.
about money.
Yep.
We don't prostitute the legacy of Otis Redding. Not all money is good money. That's our term.
Money's good money.
And so, that's what we do. We pay attention to, sometimes we'll get a liquor request and we're like, nah, we deal with kids. So we're going to kind of step back from that. We don't want to encourage, align those brands together like that. So we're very careful about that. And she's very smart about that too.
Yeah.
What is it about Otis Redding's music that keeps it alive for so long?
His voice
And the passion.
and the passion. I mean,
Songwriting.
it's unmatched. It is unmatched. You can't name another artist right now with more passion and more vocal range than Otis Redding. I can't think of one. And being my granddad or not, I'm just talking as a music lover. I've never heard anybody who could do what he did. And you can even see it with the songs that people try to, recreate or redo or cover or anything that they're trying to do. They are very picky. And they are 9 times out of 10, they are scared.
Yeah.
They are scared to touch it, because it's
As it should be.
it's
as they
iconic, So I think it's just the voice and the passion is just unmatched. And that's what keeps him, going.
The thing, as someone who grew up wanting to be in the music industry and eventually found my way into the music industry, I've always been intrigued by just how back in the 60s, Otis Redding was about his business. He was protecting the music back when that was virtually unheard of for Black artists.
Yeah.
I've always kind of wanted to know what was the mindset of your mom once he was no longer here. Like, when did she shift into the mode of, okay, we have to make sure that even though he's no longer here, we have to continue to carry on this legacy and protect.
Well, and my mom and I have always been a team. I mean, the boys were always in the music business. I got no talent, but I do have.
Me neither.
My brain is spot on.
Sharp.
And I get that from my mom. I get that from my mom. And so after the initial shock of losing a husband at the age of 25, she was 25 with 3 babies, 300-acre ranch, catalog of music, people coming. She kind of lost it for a while. Like, what, I don't, and she said to me, she would tell me, Otis would always say to me, Zelma, you'll know what to do if something happens to me. Don't worry. You don't know this business, but you'll know what to do.
Yeah.
And she snapped out of it. Never finished high school, went back to business college, got her GED, went back to business college, and she is a force to be reckoned with. I mean, she has been an entrepreneur on top of controlling Dad's legacy, allowing my brothers to get into the business and managing them to be successful musicians. And here now, helping create another path for this new generation of family members that are coming along that will oversee everything once she and I are out of here. And Mom's just passionate about it. I mean, she listens. She knows all about Tiny and T.I. and Anderson .Paak. And, I want Anderson .Paak to do an Otis song. I said, well, Mom, you should call him because I bet he'll listen to you.
Absolutely.
You don't listen to nobody.
Wait, Mom is aware.
Yeah.
Wait, no. You don't understand how aware she is.
She is so into it.
Me and my brother, we get a kick out of it because our 81-year-old grandmother knows more pop culture than anybody on
She knows
earth.
more pop culture than I do.
She does.
I'm like, Mom, I don't even know who you talking about. What are you talking
She'll
about?
come in and she'll be like, you see that rapper boy that got put in the hospital the other day? And I'm like, Granny, what are you talking about? And she knows. I'm like, how do you even know this?
And where are you getting your information? What is your source?
Yeah, she go
freaking
Google
internet,
it.
dude.
She go Google it.
Google. So we also call her, for me, I also joke, I call her TM Zelma for TMZ. Because she knows everything.
Because she's going to give you the information first.
Before it hits the tabloid,
tabloids,
she'll call me and be like, this happened. And then 5 minutes later, I get a alert through my phone. I was like, how do you know that?
So I'm guessing that when the calls came in for Otis, right? Your grandmother was the first one to be like, yep.
Yeah, she knew.
Yeah.
She was the first one to say
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to call them. Why?
She wanted to call Jay.
That's a long
Jay-
story.
That's a
in
long
itself
story
right
in
there.
itself too. But let me tell you,
Like,
I wanna
She's like,
hear.
I don't care nothing about Jay-Z, Kanye. I don't care. I don't like it.
Yep.
Otis ain't never cussed like this. I'm like, Mom, we got to do this. You don't understand.
We so
this
glad
reaches
y'all
a
did it.
whole new generation
Yeah.
of fans,
Yeah.
new
Yeah.
fans.
Yeah.
They're like, well, Mrs. Redding, we can't let you hear it. She said, well, then you don't do it.
Exactly.
So she made them send it to her.
Yes.
Absolutely. They
Yes.
said, well, we'll let you listen to it over the phone. She said, no, you won't. You're going to send it to me so I can hear it. And I'm going to hear it on a device I want to listen to it. Yeah. They had to overnight it. She's like, well, it's coming out tomorrow. She's like, no, it's not. It's not coming out tomorrow. You're confused. You're dealing with the wrong people.
How
But
this
we're
works.
paid. I don't care about your money.
Yeah.
I don't care. You're going to respect my husband and his legacy.
Yeah.
Then we'll talk about the money.
Exactly.
Love it.
So yeah.
I
So she-
love
That is.
Me too.
I think that was the first time really that Justin got the opportunity to see her in action.
Yeah.
Because I know you're like,
with-
I know
with
you're probably
real
like,
stars.
Jay-Z.
I was-
We're like, Mom,
I'm like, it's
this
Jay-Z
is
and Kanye,
Jay-Z
bro.
and Kanye.
Like, what we talking about?
And she's like, I don't give a damn.
And I said,
I'm Zelma.
Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
Don't care.
Yes, ma'am.
Saw her
So
in action.
anyway.
Oh, terrifying.
But now she's like, I watch that video all the time. I just love that Otis.
Now she just loves that.
Now she
Otis.
loves it.
I think what she loves
and them
is
calling
the
it
credit
Otis was
and
so
the-
good too.
Uh-huh.
So brilliant.
Them
Yeah.
calling it Otis, that people had to
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
really
Honorific.
acknowledge
Yes.
Yeah.
who it was
Who
about.
it is.
Was
Which
it-
I love that.
Yeah,
I
it was
love
powerful.
So that's why we really encouraged her to realize how important it was to get that done.
Yeah.
Because it was, I mean, it's an homage
Yeah, it
to
is.
the legendary.
Absolutely.
Is that your favorite remake of an Otis Redding song?
There's been some big remakes.
Probably. I think so. I mean, there are a few others.
Me, no. Modern Slavery with Quavo and Travis Scott is my favorite one, with Cigarettes and Coffee as the sample.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one.
But I think Otis is mine.
Otis is yours.
Yeah.
Otis is up there, but that Modern Slavery with that Cigarettes and Coffee in it, I mean, it's different. It's different.
It's a little bit different.
It's different.
I want to talk about the upcoming film.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
So I'm hearing the level of intentionality from Ms. Zelma is very much involved. How did the film come about? Because I'm excited about this love story, this film that's we're going to see
Right.
soon.
Well, there have been offers forever for people to do films based on Dad's life, but they wanted to cast Dad as a dummy, which he wasn't, and especially in the South and a black man in that era. And so Mom would throw away every script that came. No, and they're like, "Well, we're offering you this," and
Don't
she's
care.
like, "I don't care. I don't want that because that's not the truth. That's not the truth." So this time, the team came to us and it was like, we want to do this, not necessarily about Otis, because he had 6 short years of life, which he did great. But why was this man able to do this? Because of this strong woman, and it's Zelma. So really the story is more about Zelma Redding, their love story in the beginning, how she got to the middle of getting back on her feet and reclaiming everything that was hers, and then to today. So the ending, as we hope, will be this building. This
I love that.
That's beautiful.
yeah. So it's a great script. Jon Boyega is Otis, and I was thinking about when we were just
Wow.
talking about how you get people to cover Otis songs, and I'm like, how is he can't sing like that, but we're gonna have to figure all that out. And that's one of the things Mom asked him when we met with John. She said, "Now, sweetie, you know you got an accent. How you gonna sing like that?" He's like, "Ms. I'm gonna figure it out." She said, "Well, you better figure it out now,
he's an
because I'm
amazing
telling
actor.
you."
Yeah,
He
Yeah.
is.
Brilliant.
Not to
But
mention,
Danielle Deadweiler to play Mom is
incredible.
the
Spot
best.
on.
Oh, that's
Spot on,
best-
bro.
the
Spot
best
on.
casting of all.
Danielle Deadweiler.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
spot on.
She is.
She is.
I mean,
spot
she is
on.
the perfect Zelma. She's small. She's feisty, and she's just like Mom. She has that quick wit, and Mom has that. So we're so excited. About
I'm
this
so
film.
excited. I'm actually going to say it on the show. I predict Oscar because of that amazing,
hope so.
such a
Hope
great
so.
story.
Yeah, the story.
But I believe it's an Oscar-worthy feature in the making.
I
believe
think it's
that.
going to be. And, we didn't want it to seem like it's an Otis biopic or anything, because that's not what it is.
Right.
Their story is bigger than that. It's bigger than a biopic. Dad was able to do what he did because Mom took care of everything at the ranch and his kids. And, she'd tell him, you leave me, every note you're saying, these going to be for Dexter. Arms gonna be for Karla, of gonna be for Otis, and mine gonna be for me. I'm telling you, my mom does not play the radio,
does not
and
at all.
I think from just listening to stories of people being around my dad only feared one person.
And
that was my mom.
we all only fear one person.
Yeah, we all.
and
Yeah,
that
that's
is-
right.
That is
That's
her.
right. When she
Still.
comes in here, it's like, straighten up now,
straighten it up,
straighten up.
dude.
So, the story's gonna be the movie's gonna be amazing, and we hope to start filming in the summer.
In the summer,
spring,
yeah.
summer.
Okay. Here, make it.
And hopefully next year, 26, we'll have it somewhere.
I am so
That's
excited.
awesome. We are too.
that tux ready.
It's about time.
I'm gonna have to.
Yes.
Get that
I'm gonna have
tux,
to get
get
some
fitted
ready.
for that tux.
There you go.
It's about time.
I was gonna say also that as we're sitting in this building and talking about the philanthropic side of your grandfather, your father, now when you watch artists just do their thing, it's almost part of the calendar. Like
Yeah.
you give back, you give some turkeys at Thanksgiving. and-
Yeah.
But to your point, Timon, like he was doing this before it was cool, before there was a PR plan to do it.
Yes, already
You know what I
giving
mean?
Yeah,
scholarships.
it's it was doing that already. And then you look at these artists today, they'll come and make an appearance at their foundation once every blue moon, something
Right.
like that. But for us,
We're in it
every
day.
day.
Every day
We
we're in it.
live, sleep, and breathe this every single day. Every single day, including my grandmother,
Yeah.
is here.
And when people walk in the museum and she's there, and it's like, we can't believe you're actually in here.
And she's like,
what
why?
do you mean?
Why?
This is where I work every day. This is what I do, and this
I gotta
this
go to
is
work.
just- but we love what we do. What we do, and Dad was passionate about it as well. And we're not in it for the publicity. We're in it to make a difference in the life of a kid as much as and as often as we can. Roderick Cox, who is an African American orchestra conductor, came through our program.
Yep.
One of the most sought after individuals, orchestra conductors in the world. And Roderick comes and he gives back and he's involved in the it's just like every kid that has gone through and graduated our programs, they come in as campers, they come back as junior coaches, they come back as coaches. While they have their own real jobs, they come back and still be a part
That
of
says
our
that says
program.
a lot about the program and the love that's built into this.
Yes.
That people don't want to leave.
That's right.
Right.
For parents that are going to be watching this, how, if they want their child to be a part of the camps and all of the activities that will be available at their disposal, how can they go about?
Oh, yeah. Just visit the website,
Yeah.
otisreddingfoundation.org or otisredding.com, either one of those. But, we constantly are keeping things out there, information readily available for people to get. And it's not just the Macon, Georgia community or the Central Georgia community. We get kids from Nashville, Atlanta. It's so
Jersey,
funny.
Florida.
2 years ago, Anthony Hamilton's COO came. Her son came to our camp, and she was like, we were just looking for something for him in the summer that's exactly like what you're doing. She picked up her whole family and moved here for 2
Wow.
weeks so that he could participate in our program. Yeah. But now with the new space, we're able to extend the programs longer. Otis Music Camp was 2 weeks. Now we're going for 3 weeks. And after a while, we'll be going for year-round kind of workshops, programming, and teaching, and encouraging kids in music and arts.
Wow.
It's beautiful. And it's beautiful to see what his hard work becomes.
Yes.
Whether he's here to see it or not, it's very hopeful, I think, for the creative people watching, what your creative work can do long after you're here.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
And that's so important because it's not all about the publicity or the stardom. It's more about real life situations.
Yeah.
Kids come to us struggling.
Yeah.
But when they're with us, you don't have to struggle.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure you're well fed. If you don't have a new shirt, we're going to get you one. And
It's gonna be an Otis shirt. But
We're going to get you an Otis shirt. Now put that Otis shirt on now. But we take care of our team, not only my staff, but we take care of our kids as well. And we stay engaged with them and we learn about their grades. Hey, we know you didn't go to class. What's up with that?
Yeah.
What can we do to help you? So yeah, it's important to us. It's a family kind of situation going on.
I feel that.
As his family, I would love to know from the two of you, what is the go-to song that, like, when you just kind of want to get a feel of your dad, or you want to, like, what's your favorite song?
Mine changes like every 6 months.
Yeah.
For me right now is Down in the Valley is for me. It's either between Down in the Valley or Old Man Trouble. Those are my two that I go to, and that fluctuates from time to time, you know. But as of right now, those are the two that I'm kind of stuck. I'm stuck on those two.
I think mine for me, well, I've always said my favorite is Love Man, because I think that's what describes my dad. 6 feet, 1 weight, 210, long hair, pretty fair skin, because he was describing himself. And I feel like that's what he was to me as my dad, not Otis Redding, the star. I think my other one is the song that Mom and Dad wrote together, Dreams to Remember. And I think about that all the time. It almost makes me cry. The dreams that they shared together.
Yeah.
They have dreams to remember. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I would love to hear from everybody here.
Yeah.
Your favorite Otis Redding moment, song.
Okay, well, for me it's a moment, and it's actually, my mother is 84 years old, God bless her, and she's from Jamaica, and she came to America in the 60s, and she learned American culture because she got to see Otis Redding and many others at the Apollo Theater. Live when it was happening.
Yes.
And so I got introduced to so much music, American music and good soul music, because my mother was so impressed and blown away by that.
Yeah.
So the first music I ever heard growing up was Sit on the Dock of Bay and many of the songs, but she could not stop talking about seeing Otis and many of the stars, but it just feels personal because I grew up in New York City and it was right there for me to see, and there was this theater that my mother had seen these legends, and she told me all the stories and what it felt like, and so it just feels very much a part of my music education growing up.
Well, for me, I didn't hear Otis Redding's version of Respect until I started preparing for this thing. I'm just like, I want to see what songs he wrote, and I didn't know he wrote Respect. So his version of Respect. That's mine.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. A lot of people didn't know.
People don't know.
People don't know that.
Yeah.
That the pen.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the original hit record, because Aretha wanted to do it because she heard his and was
That's right.
well, this is good. Let me see what I can do.
Yeah.
It was
My
already a
mom-
smash. Don't sleep.
Mama often say, God bless Aretha, but I hope people know she didn't write that song. She never tells people she didn't write it.
Yeah.
But Otis wrote that song, but I just go all the way to the bank. So
Y'all go to the bank with it. Yeah, for sure.
Try a Little Tenderness. That was a song that my
Yes.
grandmother would play in the house she had a record player in the living room. So that's the song that just kind of, for me, in my childhood growing up, that was a song that I would hear just in like, okay, yeah, this is, and I'm reading through the liner notes and the vinyl all the time. But yeah,
Definition
that would be
of
my
soul
favorite.
music.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Just American music, like global.
Yeah.
Mine is probably Merry Christmas, Baby.
Oh,
Like that, Christmas don't start until I hear that record.
There you go.
And then probably Sit on the Dock of the Bay is it's haunting.
Yeah.
Such a haunting
Just
song,
kind of
yeah.
knowing that it came out after
Yeah.
he was no longer here, and just it's
That whistle part at the end.
yes.
yeah.
It's so iconic just because it's just so different.
And I always say that's like, I think the whole family feels that way. All of us have felt like that's never been one of our favorites.
Yeah.
Because it almost seems like Dad had a premonition or something.
Yeah.
Something was going to happen. So that's not one of our favorites, although it's one of the top records.
Yeah.
That's understandable. Yeah.
Phil Walden.
Yeah.
Just in reading about just the relationship that he had with him, why do you all think that relationship worked so well? Like the business that they were doing back then, it's just monumental for that time. Like, why did that work so well?
It worked well because Dad knew Phil could get him where he needed to be.
Yeah.
Not because he worked for Phil, but he would make it very clear to Phil that, you work for me. So, and I need you to do this so I can get into there. And then once I get there, I'll take you with me. But just get me into the frat houses at Mercer and running around on the Chitlin circuit like we do. And they were willing to partner and to do that. And their relationship lasted because they respected each other, which Dad demanded that. I have a story that Mom tells. Dad loved to sit in the woods, not hunt, but just sit in the woods like he was hunting. And Phil was like, Otis, we got this big thing at the Howard Theater, and they're gonna pay you $50,000 for 2 nights. He said, I'm not going. You gotta go, man. This is big money. He said, you sing? Then you go. Because I am enjoying my home right now and my kids, so I'm not going. So it was very clear, and I appreciate that because most people would have said, I think that's why we think all the time it's not about the money, because Dad is like, no, that's not what I want to do right now. I'll go next week, but I ain't going today because this is what I want to do. So I think the respect that they had for each other and Dad calling his own shots, that's why it worked.
Wow. Yeah.
He had his priorities in order.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
Besides him being, my granddad being an incredible musician, number one, I mean, his business sense and his philanthropic side and how strong he was for family and that bond of family, that's kind of where we all get it from. I mean, we are around each other 24/7, all day long. There would be days we get done working, weekend gets here, they go home, I go home. I might not talk to them all weekend, but we're around each other all the time. We're always around each other.
It's a real family business.
100%, without question.
But the other important thing to note about Dad is that he cared about his fellow musicians.
He did.
Like Sam Moore and Percy Sledge. And he was actually creating a fund so that when these musicians like himself got older who might not have been as financially secure as he was, he would be able to take care of them and provide insurance and,
so ahead of his time.
Yeah, to take care so that they could take care of their families.
Yeah.
You just mentioned Sam Moore, and we recently lost him.
Yeah.
Do you recall, is there a memory you have of just your dad and his friends?
Oh my goodness, yes. I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
At the Apollo Theater, it was Sam Moore, Sam and Dave, my dad, and James Brown, and Dad invited Mom to bring me in 03. I call my youngest brother 03, but we all called him Junior back then, but he's a third. He's Otis Redding the third. And so we all drove to New York to the Apollo Theater. And I was probably 5 then because it was right before Dad died. And I can remember Otis the third just being tired because he's a year and a half younger than I am. And he was laying in the trunk of the car asleep, had lost one shoe. And I'm standing on the side of the stage and his Dad's getting ready to go on and these folks just screaming and yelling. And I remember his interaction with James Brown. And it was almost like they were teasing each other like, Otis, I'm gonna tear your ass up out there. I can remember that. And I'm looking like, are they fighting or are they getting ready? But then I understood later in life, he was like, I'm going out and you better be ready because I'm gonna tear the stage up. And you better have your stuff together. And I remember Sam and Dave doing the same thing. And I can remember Dad going to Phil saying, what are they doing out there? What the audience is doing out there, all these people in the audience. So I think back and I just wish I had remembered the performance. I wish that I was like at this concert and could remember what happened, but I do remember that interaction with Sam and
healthy competition.
Between
the greats.
And I talked to Deanna Brown about that a lot because when you're kids, and your families have interacted together. We got our own set of stories. We got our own set of stories. Pardon me?
A bunch of y'all stay close as well?
Yes, we do. I stay close with Deanna,
Well,
and,
that's super
and
cool.
support her programs, and she supports mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I think something that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about is the fact that your brothers extended that legacy of the family by putting out their own catalog.
That part.
Yeah.
And of course, grew up listening to them as well. It was just like, these people are from Macon. We need to be supporting these records. What was the family's feeling or reaction when they started to kind of put out their own records and they were going around the world? Like, I think I saw a clip of them like on BET back in the day.
Yeah.
But what was that reaction from
For me?
for you?
I was angry because they wouldn't let me play the tambourine. They wouldn't let me play the doggone tambourine, and that's all I wanted to do. And you know what they said to me? You need to go to school. So I was in college.
Yeah.
Got you.
I was in college. They wouldn't let me do anything.
Because they know they need you to run this business.
Exactly.
They know they need the brain.
But in college, I was the stuff because my brothers were the Reddings.
It worked
You
out.
know, and it's so funny to say. I hate to say it this way, but like for the black people, they were like, "Man, your brothers are the Reddings. Oh my God, they're great." And for the white people, they're like, "Your dad's Otis Redding. Oh my God, he's bigger than Elvis. Oh my God." So like on my college campus, I was big stuff.
You got them
know.
all.
I got it. So, but I mean, I was so proud for them. As I looked at them and how successful and talented they were. And they said, I mean, they still are. Dexter is the closest thing to sound like my dad.
Agreed.
So, you know, before 03 passed, they only perform when I need them for my fundraisers, my evening of respects, which Michael Malden got me into those as well. But they come out and they do those for me because Otis, his vocal abilities was great, but he was an amazing guitar player. Dexter can lay down a bass guitar and not pick it up for 10 years and play like he played 30 years ago. And he can sing. He can sing his butt
So it
off.
runs in the family.
It runs in-
Clearly.
but I didn't get it. I try to convince my team. I'm like, Kim, can I sing a little bit? Justin's gonna do
I'm gonna teach a triangle
lessons.
class. That's what I'm
We,
gonna do.
they're all giving us,
Everyone needs someone that can hold down the triangle.
you know, we need to be able to do
know,
something
and the
musical.
tambourine.
You know, and
I can
let
stay
me
on
do
beat.
the tambourine. I told them, you know, because we do with our Otis Music Camp, we do a finale performance, and one of my favorite songs of my dad's too is "Tramp," the cover of "Tramp." And I said, me and Justin can do "Tramp." Let us do it.
Yeah.
They won't let.
They
us
will
do
not
it.
let us
They
do
will
Tramp
not let us
at
so
all.
We just sit
One
back
day
and
what's gonna
listen.
happen, we gonna do it and not tell nobody.
Exactly. We're gonna write ourselves in the script and be done.
Right, and
Right, and be
Yes,
done.
yes.
I feel like you deserve a little bit of a triangle solo.
Something. Give me something.
You deserve a triangle
You
solo.
know what I'm saying? 2 and a 4. I know how to
That's
stay
all
on
I'm
beat.
saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm hoping that people see this and see all that you're doing, and that, of course, people come to visit, but it brings a lot of traffic here as well.
Yes,
to learn about the history of Otis Redding, but the history of Macon as well, because this is a part of American music history.
Yeah, yeah.
This entire. Now you guys y'all about to have a campus. It's about to be this whole thing about to be y'all's. in the next couple of
Oh
years.
wow!
Yeah,
You know, we
hopefully.
were thinking about that one time. We were like, "What if we got dorm rooms somewhere?"
See, that's how it starts.
You know, I'm always dreaming big. And look at my team is like, "You really expect us to do that?" I said, "Y'all can do it though.
can do
we can
it.
do anything.
You
we
can
wanna
do anything.
I be like, bro, chill.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get his.
One thing at a time, dude.
He's trying to keep his Sundays off right now.
No, that's not even about that. Let's just get, because we get so, enamored in ideas and what we can do. And we can do this and this and this. And, we can sit in the office all day and just come up with
And just
ideas
plan.
of what we can do. And my thing is like, hold on, pause. Let's just finish something first. Like this thing. Let's get this done first. And then we could go from there and figure out what, we can do, because the sky is the limit.
Well, speaking of this amazing facility, when will we officially open the doors?
So, we are hoping, we're waiting on the rest of the furniture to get in, but with coming from wherever it comes from with the weather and delays and things like that. But we got to open in March. We have kids waiting to get into this building. So we have to open somewhere between the first and the second week of March.
Sign up started today?
Today.
Yeah, sign up started
Otis Music
today.
Camp Sign
Yeah.
up started today. So we got to get in here. And we're ready. My team is ready.
We'd love to come back when it's action packed and the kids are.
Please do.
running
want
around
you to
here.
come
want
back.
you to.
Or come to a performance.
Come to the
Yes,
performance.
come to the finale.
we have
just to see how these kids have put their heart and soul, because they write record and produce their own music. And now this amazing recording studio that we have is just like,
Listen, we saw the equipment coming in.
Oh yeah,
It's the good stuff.
it's definitely the good stuff.
It's the good stuff.
We didn't half step on anything. Our kids deserve world-class treatment.
Absolutely.
And that's what we strive to give them every single day is world-class treatment, and make them little divas and divettes in their own right.
I agree.
A lot of them have
lucky to
done
be
that.
able to have introduce them to celebrities. We had St. Paul and the Broken Bones speak to the kids in camp.
Slash
spoke to the kids at
Anthony
camp.
Hamilton.
Anthony Hamilton.
Usher. Ludacris.
I mean, we've had all of these.
else have we had?
We just surprise them. They don't even know, until they're like, oh my God.
Yeah, they kind of freak
awesome.
out.
And we're like,
Yeah.
calm down. They're just regular people like
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they're just regular people. They were like you are.
They
Trying to get there. They're there, but they were
Right.
just like you one day.
It was like Slash, we were bringing Slash in, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, these kids ain't gonna know who Slash is. They have no idea what Guns N' Roses is. Lies.
Oh my
Lies.
They
went
went
crazy.
crazy.
They
went absolutely crazy.
They talked to Slash for what, like an hour?
Yeah, we had to cut
We
it
were like,
off.
whoa,
were like,
whoa, we got
listen,
something to do,
It was
y'all.
supposed to be 30 minutes. Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
They're getting the works.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's such the beauty about this legacy is because a lot of people don't realize Mick Jagger,
Yes.
the Beatles,
Yeah.
just so many people that are iconic themselves. They do what they do because of Otis Redding.
That's right.
Correct.
And I'm so glad this is a thing because as someone that was born and bred here, Macon often gets a bad rap. Just with things that happen in every other city,
Every
as
other
well,
city,
as
that's
well. But I remember growing up listening to this man's music, being a part of plays, doing things at the Douglas, and them reopening the Douglas and saying the rich history. And I'm here. I don't get to work in the music industry if it were not for someone like Otis Redding, who made me realize that a career in music is possible.
That's right.
So,
And it is.
yeah,
It
it
absolutely is. And that's what we teach our kids. That's what we teach our kids.
Before we wrap out, just curious to know if there's one thing or one main thing you want people to know about Otis Redding that maybe you don't feel like gets expressed properly or that you would love to just drive home. There's so much that is known, but I mean, we're sitting with the family, so.
For me, I think people really need to understand that Dad controlled his own destiny. He controlled his path. And Lord, if he had lived, that path would be incredible right now. I mean, he already had offers to host television shows. He had incorporated restaurants. He had his own publishing company, his own management company.
Wow.
He was brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And I think that's important that people know that he did not finish high school.
Wow.
But he taught himself. He taught him. He was self-taught. And what he didn't know, he found out.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, it's it's kind of a mantra I live by now. It's like never let anybody tell you no or you can't do anything, because if my granddad listened to people that told him no, this legacy would not exist.
Right.
And he did not listen to those people at all.
Yeah.
At all. He continued and pushed until he got exactly what he wanted to do. And that's kind of how I live. I don't let nobody can tell me no.
Yeah.
If it's a no, okay, that's fine. We'll come back in a couple weeks or so, and we're going to turn this no into a yes.
Yeah.
Some way it's going to be a yes. And we teach the kids that. Don't ever let anybody tell you you can't do something.
Yeah.
Can't is not in your vocabulary. Can is in your vocabulary.
That's right.
And our kids understand that, and now they go off and do things and do their own kind of shows and putting out EPs and streaming songs on DSPs and being in plays and being managers
Because they can.
Yeah, because they
can.
can. Because they can.
Absolutely.
So.
And I think, one final thought that I have is just to say how lucky we are to have this brand. Because this is a brand that has not been tarnished.
Yeah.
There's no drugs. There's no abuse of a woman, of a wife. He loved his wife. He loved his kids. He loved his business. And we have that untarnished legacy to live under that people around the world, I'm talking about national and international, that when you say the name Otis Redding with this building,
Yeah.
when we were fundraising for this building, just to say it's the Otis Redding Center for the Arts, people are like, yeah, we got to be a part of that. BMI, we got to be a part of that. Korg, we got to be a part of that. The Google commercial that we
Google,
did. I mean,
yeah.
it's just incredible.
Sony.
The level of respect that brand that we're lucky to be able to use.
So our friends at Sony Music Publishing, John Platt, Brian Monaco, I've heard they were very supportive.
Very
supportive. Very supportive. And you know, we are so proud to be with them because they understand the balance between the business of the publishing and the songs ties right in line with the business of the philanthropic efforts of the foundation. One has to go with the other.
Yeah. Sure does.
And we're just proud. We are. It was a long time coming. It took the Queen a long time to make the decision. And John Platt, boy, I gotta see you. You better get down here. I ain't doing no business with nobody until I look you in your eye.
That's
That's
the
how she
rule.
does.
That's
That's
the
the
rule.
rule. I'm not doing business with you until I sit and break bread with you and look you in your eye and see if you really care about me and my family. And she was like, "Ooh, you so tall, but I like you."
Shout out to John Platt. We love John Platt.
Yes, we love John.
Yeah,
Platt,
man.
too.
Big John's awesome.
Yeah.
So shout out to the whole Sony team. I mean, they've been incredible.
Yeah. I mean, we've been with them less than a year.
Less than a year,
And
and-
we have done so many things on the foundation side as well as the music.
Yeah.
I love it.
I have one last question.
Yes.
Once the movie is done and you all are still working with this, are there other things that you all have in the other irons in the fire?
You know
that
what
you
I
can speak
love?
of?
I'd love to see is a stage play.
Oh,
I'd love to see.
I was
'cause
thinking Broadway.
that
That's what
music-
it is.
Broadway as well.
You know, that music is
Yes.
just incredible.
Yes.
And when I went in the early years when Alvin Ailey was doing the Sweet Otis, and I would sit there, I must have been 14, 15 years old, and I was like, my dad needs a play. He needs a stage play. So that would be my next dream.
I love that idea.
My next dream.
I mean, for me, it'll be. I've always had this idea in my head, and I want to make this happen. I want to do a TV show. Growing Up Redding is what I want to do.
Growing up Redding.
That's what I want to do because I don't think people understand how
He
crazy
looked nervous.
this
He's
is.
like, I don't want to be.
I'm real nervous.
Don't put me
You
on
don't
a reality
understand.
TV, son.
I don't think it should be
Oh my
reality. It could be almost like, kind of scripted, almost kind of like Blackish or something like
Okay,
that.
okay.
But I just think, what we go through outside of this
Funny
every
things
day.
that
Oh
my mom
God.
says, the funny things that she does, and the way she does business. It could be hilarious.
It could
I'm
be.
not kidding.
It could be.
Good to
People
know.
like John came in and he was like, y'all need a reality show. We like, oh no, we're not going to reality.
No, and every time people come in, we act the way we act.
This
This is us.
That's what it is.
We like
And
this all the
sometimes
time.
people think we're kind of putting up a facade, and we're like, no.
No,
This is
we're not-
every day.
This is
You know.
growing up Redding.
Growing up Redding.
And
This is
sometimes
what it
when
is.
a new person joins the team, I'm like, now get yourself ready. It's gonna sound like we're arguing and fussing, but
we're
we're
not.
really not.
We just talk loud.
We just talk loud.
It's in love.
Yeah, I love it. We just talk loud, and we laugh and we giggle, and it's loud, and then all of a sudden, all right, we got to do a little business. But then we'll come back and start giggling. And laughing.
I'm looking out for the TV show. I'm tuned in.
Make sure you follow us on all platforms at We Sound Crazy and WeSoundCrazy.com.
And to know more information about all that will be happening here once this opens, please go to otisreddingfoundation.org.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Follow us on our socials as well. Otis Redding and Otis Redding Foundation on all our social platforms. So.
We thank y'all so much.
I was going to say thank you for having us. I feel like
We
we're
are so
part
grateful.
of history. This is an honor.
You all came.
Hey, actually, you are part of history. This is actually the first
The first
interview
interview
we've done in
that
our
we've done
building.
here.
Dun, dun, dun,
Absolutely.
dun.
So you got it.
Absolutely, the
It's
first
crazy
one.
because I say bacon for making every episode of this podcast.
Yeah.
And to be able to come here and do this and kind of bring this home, we've been building this for the last 5 years. So it's been hard for me to not be emotional in doing
thank
this.
It's okay to shed a thug tear.
Shed a tear.
Shed a tear,
Yeah.
Timon.
No thug tears today.
No, but we will be back. We want to support. We want to
Thank you.
see a performance. We want to keep involved with what's happening here.
Awesome.
We're too close.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are.
Close.
Y'all come
There's
hang
no
out with
reason.
us.
We will. We will.
Y'all come hang out with us.
So we're gonna call you. I
Yes,
promise.
definitely.
You're stuck with us.
Yes,
Hey,
no problem.
no
We wanna
problem.
be.
until next time, we sound crazy in one of the craziest places we've ever been. That's all I'm gonna say. Peace, y'all. Peace.
We sound crazy.